It's no surprise that we've seen people searching around for other alternative assets like digital assets and Bitcoin. And I know, I'm sure you're being asked about this all the time, but I do want to get your wisdom on this because I saw you make some comments about just the structure of the market and at what levels different kinds of investors are involved and perhaps what people that are new to something like Bitcoin need to watch for. Speaking as a sort of more traditional investor, but that understands both price action and the mentality of investors when they're making an investment, particularly in light of the price moves that we've seen. Mohammed, your wisdom on Bitcoin.
So I don't know its wisdom because I bought Bitcoins when they dipped below 5,000 and I sold them at 19,000 and I thought, well, wow, I'm really smart.
That's
just
a profit.
To go all the way up to 40,000. Hey. So I'm not sure it's wisdom, but this is how people should think. This time around, because this is the third big surge in Bitcoin prices, this time around you have a solid foundation of long-term holders. They have been brought together by fear about inflation, fear about liquidity, mistrust in institutions, looking for more risk mitigation assets. I mean, a whole host of reasons bringing them together. That is a solid foundation. That's why I don't think you'll ever see Bitcoins back down at 4,000. However, above that is a really big layer of speculation. People realize that Bitcoins can move by 4-5% a day. And that, of course, attracts people. We saw last week, fascinating, that when the stimulus checks hit people's account, quite a few of those dollars ended up buying Bitcoins. So people are speculating on Bitcoin. So I tell people, just be careful, because I understand the solid foundation, but on top of that, you've got a big speculator layer. So just make sure you can manage through that. Because as we saw on Sunday, Monday, that price can fall by 20% in 48 hours.
Yeah, you've got to be prepared for volatility. I mean, there will be people watching this going, all the reasons that you suggested are a reason for buying into Bitcoin still exist and will continue to exist in 2021.
So I do think Bitcoins are going to continue to establish themselves, but it's important to know what they establish themselves as. They're establishing themselves as part of the payment system. They're establishing themselves as a holding in a portfolio, 1%, 2%. What they're not establishing themselves as is a global currency. Central banks will not allow that to happen. And I think it's important because that gives you a bound of valuation. Clearly not zero, because they exist in the ecosystem, but it's not. I hear some people saying it's going to 400,000. I don't think so. So, just understand it's a huge range, but understand it's bounded by some realities.